Plus, what turns a kid into a schoolyard bully? And how can parents protect their children from this? Deborah Norville tonight. From Studio 3K in Rockefeller Center, Deborah Norville.
You saw on that school bus security camera is a big problem on America's playgrounds, on the schools, and indeed on school buses. Experts are estimating that a child is bullied every 7 minutes on a school ground and every 25 minutes in a classroom, and it can have devastating effects. With me now from Des Moines, Iowa is Gail Purcell Elliott. She advises schools on how they can detect and prevent bullying. She's also the author of School Mobbing and Emotional Abuse, and we thank you for being with us tonight. You know, it's amazing, as we were getting ready tonight, just this evening in New York, there was a report of a little girl who was knocked unconscious on a school bus and hospitalized as a result of this. So this is not that uncommon. What's a parent to do?
Well, really, Deborah, parents have got to get together along with the schools and start establishing some awareness programs and some guidelines so that people know what to watch for. There's a dignity and respect approach that I promote that takes place among communities, in schools, and with parents, as well as the kids.
I want to get into that, but I want to talk about first the kid. How can you tell as a parent, you know, we tell our kids to buck up, be a big boy, be a big girl, you know, be strong when you go to school, and we pat them on their little bottoms and send them off. And yet this is going on with frightening frequency. How can we tell if it's more than just the childhood taunting and something really serious that can be damaging?
Well, there are always going to be pocket incidents of people not getting along with each other or good-natured teasing and that type of thing. But it can get serious and it can be very damaging. Some of the things that parents can start watching for are simply your child's behavior changing. A kid who's being... Well, a kid who is being targeted by this kind of abuse, and the outcomes that you see with violence usually start with emotional abuse that goes on over a period of time. There's usually a track record before you see something erupting like this. And you'll see the child becoming anxious, not wanting to go to school, getting depressed, behavior changing, possibly isolating themselves from other people, maybe having nightmares, that type of thing.
And you say there are things that schools can do to try to eliminate, not eliminate, but at least ameliorate some of the impact of that. What are you recommending schools do? And maybe somebody listening will take a page from your playbook.
Well, one of the things that I really recommend, a lot of times schools get involved in trying to put things in place after something like this happens, but promoting a consistent approach to what our expectations are within the school environment.
So set the rules out straight before anything happens.
Yeah, be honest and set expectations. People often think that discipline means punishment, but discipline really means establishing rules and teaching people how to follow them, and then having real, honest consequences for not following them, and addressing behavior on the part of a child who's not fulfilling the expectation rather than devaluing the child. A lot of
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Well, a lot of times people come down very hard on a child who has engaged in misconduct, and it devalues them, and then you see repeat performances because the person has the need to save face.
Yeah. You also, as a parent, have a sense that sometimes the schools aren't listening. Sometimes they don't take this seriously. And sometimes you, as the parent, feel like you ought to step in. What's the appropriate way for a parent who fears that the school is not taking as serious a view of this as it ought to step in and get engaged?
Well, I think the parents have to be honest about what they believe that they have heard and seen and discerned about behavior changes. They need to address the school as a partner in order to try to get some of these issues taken care of. Now, I have heard from some parents who try to go to the school and they don't get the results that they need. And that can be extremely frustrating.
Absolutely, in which case you've got to let your kid know that you were there for them and you were their #1 ally. Gail Purcell Elliott, thank you so much for being with me. It's a sad story, and we hope we don't have to report another one of these anytime soon.